Hi, everybody. It's Linda G here, and I'm introducing you to a new healer. We've been planning this for a while, correct?
Yeah, it's been over a year.
Yeah, so she has some methods for healing, and we want to talk about that. The name of her business is Primdahl Energetics, and on the bottom of this YouTube, I'll have how you can reach her, etc. So give us a little history about yourself, Karen.
Of myself. Well, I'm Canadian,
Okay.
and but with a strong Danish background. I am an esthetician, and I'm also a Bowen therapist as well. And then I do this work here, which is also based on healing work, energetic work, and it's remote
How did you
work.
even get involved?
Oh, I've been involved with this since I was a teenager,
Really?
actually. Yeah,
Did did
so
did you know you had the gift?
well, I've done different things actually. I've had different experiences whenever I do body work. I'd have visions, I would ha see past life on people. So it actually came at the end that people came not just for the massage, but they wanted to have a hit of some sort on a past life or something they needed to know. So
And
it
you were
grew over.
able to bring it up.
Yeah, it would just come, but I, of course, was nervous about people. I said, no, you want a massage, that's what you sign up for. If if anything, I see anything, I will explain to you what I see, but don't come thinking that's what you're coming for because I
Yeah.
can't guarantee that
I had
something
a
will
friend
come
who
up.
was a masseuse and it would just pour into her. She would get
Yep.
so much information. And sometimes they didn't ask for it and she would just like burst in
Yeah,
with information.
I know, I know. It would come through in different ways, actually. And I have with that, I have a couple of neat things that are coming to mind. I had one woman, I was working on her, and I saw a past life, and I began to explain it to her, and I felt that she had had a life where she died 13, 14 years old. She was because of a sacrifice. She was a sacrifice, and that she lay buried in the Danish bog, actually, so the marsh area.
Yes.
And she just got so excited, scared the daylights out of me because I was in my zone. I was just explaining what I saw. And then she started asking me questions, what's in her stomach? What was she wearing? She was asking all these questions. And so I would just answer what I saw. And she was so excited. And why she was excited was because she was actually a professor of archaeology. And everything I said matched completely. In this life, as a young person, she had done archaeological digs in this area that where I had seen her. So that
Wow.
was fun. Um, Another experience I had with she was in her, I think, early to mid 30s, and she was dying of ovarian cancer.
Ooh,
She
that's a tough
came,
one.
she traveled a couple of hours to have a massage with me because she knew that I could see things. And again, if it happens, bless you, but I can't guarantee this.
Right.
But she wanted to know because it was hard for her to let go of her girls, right? She had a preteen and just a teen
Oh,
girl,
I
and they
don't
were all
blame you.
very
Yeah.
close. So it was really heartbreaking. I was working on her, and when my hand went over her abdominal and over her umbilicus, I saw the angels on the other side, and they were pulling on her umbilicus and saying, "We already gave her 2 extra weeks." Right? And, and, and the angels were kind of in the front, and then behind were all her ancestors. Her loved ones were all behind them, and they were pouring out love and support. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. I was standing there with the tears, just, but
Oh, I
letting her
bet.
know it's so moving. And then I saw another glimpse from Ireland where she was with a band with the Celtic music, right? They were on the rocks there and the ocean and the sea. Everything was just beautiful. So she left and she asked me what I saw. I said, "You have a lot of support on the other side." And that was true.
It's true. Yeah.
I was not going to tell her that no, she wouldn't make it. About a week later, her husband called me that she had passed away. And I did not know these people, so I was so surprised that he called me. But very thought, thought it was very thoughtful of him
Did he
to do
want to
that.
tell you that maybe you helped her a little bit calm
I
down?
think it helped that I really that connection she had and why they showed that because I'm just a conduit. They choose what I see. It's not
That's what
nothing to
happens with
do with
me.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that actually helped that release that she needed to do, maybe. Because he called me and we discussed and I told him what I had seen. And then I told him also with this Irish stuff. And I said, look, I just don't know. I keep getting the feeling this for her funeral, that kind of music might be something that really would feel good to her. And he's just like, well, do you know what she did? I said, no, I have no idea because I didn't know her really. And he said, well, she's a professional musician and it's all around the Celtic music.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm the violinist. Like, so I didn't know any of that,
Isn't
So
that something?
yeah, yeah. So a lot of experiences in
Now,
that
when
way.
you do, you can do this work via the internet or whatever. People don't have to fly to Vancouver.
No, the work that I do, I work with energy still. It's remote. I can have worked with people from anywhere on around the
Yeah.
globe, whatever. There's no, they simply call me or email me when they want a session. And all I need from them is actually the signature on a piece of white paper or a picture. That is used, that carries the vibration of that person because everything around has vibratory rates,
Right. Like
right?
sometimes I would hold a piece of jewelry.
Yeah, well, it's so similar, right? Because both of us are actually working within the biofield and it
Mhm.
carries all this information, right? And so, but I use actually a digital device, electronic device that I call Portal Wave, and it's my own design or with the engineer I worked with. I don't know if you can see it well
Yeah, I
there.
can see it. Yeah.
And it's very small, it's very handy. And just to give you a sense, here's my cell phone. And when I put that on, it gives you a sense of the size of it. It's just so
Yeah.
small. So it's
And
very
then what do you
flexible,
do with it?
very portable. So what I do is it has some lines attached to it. So I also have a software program that goes on the computer. And so I use their signature on a plate. And so the portal wave instrument actually acts as a witness on behalf of the body. So it's a communication, I call it portal, right? Because it's like I'm here, I'm communicating through the instrument to the person,
Right.
right? And the portal wave is able to pick up those frequencies and read them back to me. And that
Wow.
helps me hone in on the area that they call and complain about, right? So, but this is non-physical, it is completely energetic. So to give an example of a person that reached out to me with severe abdominal issues, pain,
Yeah,
and
this is
they
an
couldn't find
interesting
out,
story, you guys.
they couldn't find out what was wrong with her. Um, so she called me, and when I went on my portal wave instrument, I tapped into her body and identified, well, the uterus was what was in distress. I put a session together with that. Then I called her and said, okay, I'm ready to start this session. And she said, well, what did you find? I said, well, it's your uterus. And she was quiet for a moment. And she said, well, I don't have a uterus any longer. Like, I don't have it. And I said, it's fine. It's okay. You have to trust the body. The body never lies. And this is what it's telling me. So let's go with it if you're okay. She was. I called the next day to catch up. And she was so happy and so surprised because she said, shortly after you put me on, the pain began to subside and it's completely gone. And I just don't understand it. I don't understand how this is
Did you find
possible.
out the physiological reasons or?
I didn't ask her because this is a story that we live in real time all the time, right?
Yeah,
So whatever was in her past was in her past in that
that
sense.
made that pain.
Well, that is more, it could be a fungus or bacteria, whatever. And I home in on that and I, shift that. So I help provide an environment in which her body can reset and it'll then heal on its own terms. I'm not doing the healing at all. I'm able just to go in, see there's a conflict, there is energetic obstruction, And when I home in on that, tune into that and clear that using my portal wave instrument, using those frequencies, we clear that. And then the body gets a break and it can breathe and it can reset and then it heals on its own terms. There's nothing to do with my, just provide the environment to set up a good space for healing to take place, for the chi energy to flow properly again, right? So no, it can be whatever. And usually in that sense, when we talk microorganisms and that, we have to remember it's part of life, right? So
Right.
they have their own cycle of life. So all living things have the same thing in common, right? Avoid danger, feed, right? Find food to nourish, and then um, procreate, right? I mean,
Right.
that's the cycle of life. And bacteria and fungi and everything, they have that same,
Right.
and they have their own cycle. So that ties us into planets, planet energy. For instance, a lot of people will know full moons is very active time for parasites, right? So
No, I didn't know that.
it's very active. Usually, people know that, around supper time, if things get haywire, more pain, more discomfort, likely it's parasitic, and they're busy during the night because they are nocturnal, right? So many of the people have come to me for a long time will call me and say, oh, I think I have some parasitic stuff going on. Can you have a look? Just because they're getting to know what does it feel like when fungi are active or when parasites are active or bacteria and so forth, right?
Yeah.
So that's real time because that's happening in real time. So it's not a diagnostic method in any way what we do. We're tuning in to the biofield, what information is there now that's affecting this area? Why is this area feeling restricted? Well, that can be emotional. That can be, something happened emotional. Now there's a restriction. Whatever microorganism is there in that moment becomes active because of the disturbance,
Right. Right.
right? It's like an alarm clock that goes off. How do you sleep through that?
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, so having microorganisms in our body is just part of life. I mean, for every one human cell, I think we have 5 microorganisms.
Yeah. They
So
sure found a lot of organisms in like mummies and dead people.
there's a lot, like even things that they don't consider things like I will work on things like opalix, which is a type of viral. That's not considered as something to look for, or even viroids. Things like oomocytes, even tardigrades became a thing about 3/4 of the way through COVID. I never saw them before, and then all of a sudden they became very active and they're quite painful. So it's good to clear them. But this is again on an energetic level, and it affects our body, and but also so does our emotions and our thoughts, and but also the planetary movements, right? And how they affect our natal chart, right? And at
Wow.
what angle, what configuration. So you can really go in a lot of depth. But to make it simple, people have a complaint, they call, and then I tune into that area that's having a complaint, an issue. And then I say, well, what is going on here right now? And then we
Right.
clear the area and the body gets that chance, that pause to kind of reset. And then it goes off and does its own thing because nature knows what to do, but sometimes needs help. And we can help this way. That's
Right.
just one of the modalities we can access with that. But it's so handy. And that the thing is, the main thing for me is the teaching that I'll be beginning here now. March, I'll be available for that. I've put all this together. It's been a long process. This is the portal wave here is actually the third design that I've made with my engineer. And ready to now do that because it's always word of mouth. The people come to me of word of mouth, and it's always been that way. But for teaching, it's a different thing. But you need to have your anatomy, physiology
Yeah.
background. I'm not a doctor. That's not my thing. I teach how to work this equipment and how to navigate that. But because I would really love to see this as a global thing. Like I have when my people go on holiday, right? I'll get a call from Europe or wherever they are and say, I ate something and
Yeah.
it doesn't agree with me. Can you just please do it and we'll connect one later?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll go in. But if that's happening while I'm sleeping, if there's an operator in Italy, for instance, or something, they can reach out to that person and they can get that session done immediately. And then if they want, if they need follow-up, they can call me or they can continue with that person. The
Yeah.
work is the same, but it's so flexible.
How long have you been doing this now?
Well, like I said, it's been in my life since my late teens, right?
Okay.
And so, but I think just professionally since 2010,
Okay.
I've been doing that, yeah. So,
And
and
do you have any other like really profound story?
there is a lot. I do have one also that in terms of, one wouldn't think would happen, it just comes to mind, is a person who was diagnosed with vulva lichen sclerosis. So that's, the genitalia, anal area, all of that is it's a skin condition, is I think how they put it across, or even reproductive. And once you have it, you never get rid of it. You keep it down with, steroid, topical steroid, or in some cases they do have to do surgery with that. But they say that once you have it, that's it. So I worked with this person and it's now 2 years. It's gone. It's not here at all.
And that's
At
something
all.
that can't go.
Yeah. So why I say that is because that is so obvious. It's outside the body. You have it or you don't, right?
Right.
This is 2 years of not having it, of not having to use steroids or anything. There is no issue at this time. So it helps. It like, the body can be helped in many different ways. Yeah.
Right.
And There's
Right.
there's a lot of stories over the time, with stuff, but I just think it's so nice that like it goes through, when I started, I can see
One
how I've gone
second.
through
One second,
generations.
girlfriend.
Oh,
So, so go ahead. What you were saying.
I don't remember what I
We
was saying.
just went blank. I got a call and I had to get it. But it's just fascinating. I didn't
It,
you use that machine on me?
we haven't yet. Yeah,
Oh,
you're more
okay.
than welcome to try it. You expressed the interest, but you have not yet, but you're welcome
Can
to.
people do just a general, just a checkup?
Yeah, you can do anything. I mean, you can always find something because we have these microorganisms in our body and there's always something, that's not quite in balance. That's a daily thing that the body is working on all the time.
Yeah.
But when people have a complaint of something, typically, or if they want to do cleanup, it's always good to, focus on the kidneys, for instance, to give us example, or even the vascular system and so forth.
Yes.
So yes, you can absolutely use it in that way to help detoxify the body.
Yeah.
And it's very unique in that because you get into areas that you wouldn't normally,
This sounds
get
exciting.
into.
It sounds like it could be a huge factor to help people, or more than just you doing this.
There are other people that do it. I have, a couple of students so far that have started, but it's only just now that I'm ready to really bring it out because I do research as well and I'm getting the books in order. So it's incredible the time it takes to put that all together,
I
honestly.
know. I know.
There's a lot of research, so I'm starting, but I do, and the one person I'm thinking about, she's quite busy, with this, and it just never sits idle. When you have it, it doesn't sit idle because there's someone is like, no, someone is like, oh no, remember I had this, it's gone now, and it's just, well, what
Yeah.
did you do? Well, and then call so and so, and you have like not just the people you started with, but you start having their kids and their grandkids and
Yeah.
friends, and it just expands. But like I said, one person can't do everything.
Right.
And we're in the right time for this now because we're in Aquarius. This is where this kind of technology harmonizes. This is
Yeah.
when it gets brought to the surface,
Right.
this technology. So the timing is right for that. And I love the flexibility of it, honestly. And it's non-toxic. Like it's environmentally friendly. We're just using the energy on the person, giving a call. They're not having to come, drive or anything to get a session, stay where
Right.
you are, live your life as you do, and you can be helped that way, regardless of where you
That's
are. So
wonderful.
that's really, really nice. That's very helpful for people because I know it can be a problem sometimes. People get sick. It's like, but I have to do this, or I have this presentation. I don't know, It's like
Yeah.
put them on, and usually fairly quickly they begin to feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, your daughter's going to send me the links of how people
Yes.
can reach you.
Yes.
So
Yes.
before I post this, I'll make sure it's down there.
Yes. That would
But
be
see,
great.
you were nervous. You did a great job.
So, so no, but thank you so much for bringing
Sure.
me on and
And
just
also,
seeing what
she
you said.
gets psychic hits, but she's not claiming to be doing that. That's not your forte, right?
No, no, I will just get things that
Yeah.
pop up. Like it just it's a flashes, that just they come and then I see how it plays out. Like we're talking about some of the Trump stuff or the planet itself, and it just I don't even know what I'm doing at the time. It just pops up. I mean, you
Just
have the
pops up.
same.
I
Yeah,
get the same. She
same
had
thing.
a she had a vision of Trump's soul trying to get out of his body,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah, and I
probably
think
true.
it was after something he had done, and I try to remember if it was in June or something, where I saw his soul trying to, hands on his shoulders and trying to hoist out of his body, wanting, like even he's had enough of himself, right? Like, I mean, he's
Yeah,
done
girlfriend,
it.
you don't have to say that twice. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, sweetie. Thank you for coming on
Oh,
and
thank you so much.
and introducing yourself. And when your daughter sends me that stuff, I'll post this up. It'll be on tonight.
Okay. Thank you
And
so much, Linda.
expect
And
your whatever it's if it's email or whatever, expect it to start blowing up. Is
well,
it very expensive?
for one session, it is 110 Canadian
Okay,
dollars.
which is cheaper American, right?
Yes, 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 it is. The first session is 150 because there is more introduction, having to speak and explain and so forth. But other than that, one session is 110. On my website, which you'll get the information, primdahlenergetics.ca, all the information is there.
Okay.
So then people can read that and then they can reach out for any questions they may have
Oh,
about
thank
it.
you so
Yeah.
much, sweetie.
So, and thank you for all the people who are viewing, of your subscribers.
Yeah,
I'd
these are
like to
cool
thank for their
people,
time.
and they're the type that this might be right up their alley.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yes.
all
So
right, honey, you take
thank
care.
you. Okay, thank you.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.